Alcohol isn't what you think it is. It's not just something to take the edge off or make a night out more fun. It's not about relaxation or celebration. It's a spiritual sedative, a carefully concealed weapon that has been dulling your intuition, lowering your energetic defenses, and pulling you away from your true self for much longer than you realize. The most dangerous part? You've been taught to see it as harmless, even sophisticated. The programming runs so deep you hardly notice it. But beneath the toasts, the smiles and the rituals, alcohol has been altering your very frequency in ways you never meant to experience. This isn't a lecture about morality or health. It's about something much deeper, something ancient. It's about the spiritual consequences of alcohol, consequences that most spiritual seekers will never be told until now. Long before alcohol became a casual fixture in bars, dinner tables, and weekend parties, it was something far different. Its roots stretched deep into the hidden corridors of ancient wisdom, where mystics, alchemists, and spiritual initiates understood its true power. The word alcohol reveals a forgotten truth. Derived from the Arabic term alul, it didn't initially refer to a drink at all. It referred to a fine black powder used around the eyes. But in alchemical traditions its meaning went much deeper. Alul described the process of distillation, of drawing the essence, the spirit, out of matter. The alchemists understood that this process wasn't just physical, it was symbolic of separating the soul from the body, pulling the living essence out of form. That's why we still call alcoholic beverages spirits. It's not just poetic language. It's an echo of an ancient understanding. Alcohol has the power to extract the spirit from matter, but when consumed carelessly, it can extract your own spiritual essence too, and that's a danger most people have never been warned about. The ancient wisdom and modern disconnect. The ancients didn't take this lightly. Alcohol was treated with reverence and fear. It wasn't meant for casual indulgence or entertainment. It was a tool of transformation, used carefully in sacred rites, ceremonies, and initiation rituals. Only those who had been trained to navigate altered states responsibly were allowed to work with it. The risk was well known. Misuse could sever one's grounding, disconnect the self from its higher centers, and open portals that couldn't be closed. But modern society has forgotten, or perhaps more accurately chosen to bury, this knowledge. Alcohol today flows freely, stripped of its spiritual context and reduced to a marketing tool wrapped in glamour and sophistication. Its energetic essence remains unchanged, though. What was once recognized as a volatile substance, capable of manipulating the soul, has now been repackaged as harmless fun. But the danger isn't just physical, it's spiritual. What the ancients warned us about is still happening today, but now without awareness, without respect, without the protections they once employed. Alcohol doesn't simply relax your mind, loosen your social anxiety, or make you more confident. Every sip alters your frequency, disturbs your energetic field, and fractures the delicate balance that keeps your spiritual alignment intact. Alcohol's subtle spiritual damage. The danger isn't just physical, it's spiritual. Alcohol doesn't just give you a buzz or a temporary sense of relaxation. It lowers your energetic guard, cracks open your spiritual defenses, and makes you more vulnerable to forces you may not even understand. Most people never question alcohol's role in their lives, because it feels so natural. It's part of our culture, part of our identity. But to question alcohol isn't just to question a habit. It's to challenge a deeply embedded cultural script, one that teaches us to associate alcohol with connection, joy, and relaxation. The system has done its job well. Alcohol has become woven into the very fabric of our lives, linked to every social occasion, every celebration, every escape. And because it's been celebrated for so long, questioning it feels uncomfortable. It's not just about the drink, it's about confronting a lifetime of cultural programming that told you who to be, how to feel, and how to connect. Alcohol has become an emotional shortcut, a way to feel more alive, more connected, more confident. But the truth is, it's only offering you a counterfeit version of connection. The spiritual consequences of alcohol consumption. Alcohol doesn't just affect your brain or body, it affects your energy field, your aura, your light body, your subtle system. Your energetic field is not some mystical theory, it's the architecture of your spiritual sovereignty. It holds your intuition, your higher guidance, your clarity. It acts as both a receiver and a shield, allowing you to tune into your inner truth while filtering out energies that don't belong to you. When your energetic field is strong, you feel aligned, aware and connected. But when it weakens, you become vulnerable to influences you may not even recognize as foreign. And alcohol operates silently, weakening your field with every sip. It doesn't just numb your mind, it creates microscopic tears in your energetic structure. Your boundaries begin to soften, your aura becomes porous, and you start to absorb energies, thought forms, and emotional residues that you were never meant to carry. As this happens, your intuition starts to dull. The quiet voice that guides you toward alignment becomes harder to hear. You second-guess yourself more often, feel more reactive, more unstable, and because the process is gradual, you don't notice the erosion until you've drifted far from where you started. The illusion of connection. What most people seek when they drink isn't the alcohol itself. It's a version of themselves that feels uninhibited, more confident, more alive. But what you're really experiencing is the loosening of your spiritual defenses. Alcohol doesn't unlock your true self, it lowers the barriers that protect you. In doing so, it makes you more vulnerable, more exposed, and more susceptible to external influences. You may feel more sociable, more open, but behind that temporary euphoria, something more insidious is happening. Every drink you take makes your energetic field just a little more porous. Your clarity becomes clouded, and over time, this disconnection becomes your new normal, and you mistake it for who you are. But it's not who you are, it's the erosion of clarity, masquerading as personality. The subtle energetic impact. The problem is not that alcohol creates pleasure, it's that it offers a counterfeit version of the connection you're truly seeking. When you drink, you believe you're becoming more of yourself, but in reality, you're drifting further from your essence. The longer you live in that false version of yourself, the harder it becomes to remember what true alignment feels like. This isn't about shame or judgment, it's about awareness. When you understand the true nature of alcohol, you begin to see why ancient traditions treated it so carefully. They weren't being puritanical, they were protecting something far more precious than your body, they were protecting your soul. Most people only think about alcohol's effects in terms of what happens to their brain or body, slurred speech, loss of balance, a foggy mind. But very few consider what happens to the layer of you that's invisible to the eye, but essential to your being, your energetic field. You are not just your muscles, bones, and thoughts, you are vibration, a field of energy, constantly radiating, receiving and interacting with the world around you. And alcohol alters that field in ways we've never been taught to recognize. Alcohol's erosion of clarity and intuition. Alcohol disturbs the delicate balance of your energy field, your aura, your subtle system, your light body. They all rely on a steady, coherent energy to function, but when your energetic field is compromised, you become vulnerable to forces you cannot see. You stop trusting your own intuition, that quiet voice inside you, the one that warns, guides, and nudges you toward alignment, becomes harder to hear. Your decision-making becomes clouded. You second-guess yourself more often. Your clarity is no longer reliable. And because the process is gradual, you mistake this disconnection for who you are. But it's not you, it's the result of alcohol's impact on your energy. As your root chakra, your connection to survival, pleasure, and grounding becomes overstimulated, you may find yourself more focused on the material, more driven by base desires. Meanwhile, your crown chakra, the bridge to higher consciousness, becomes muted, dull. The pathways that allow you to access higher states of awareness are slowly choked off. You feel more alive in your body, but disconnected from your higher self.
Alcohol as a spiritual solvent. The problem is, alcohol doesn't just loosen you up or make you feel more connected to others. It loosens your spiritual defenses. With every drink, you lower your energetic boundaries. You make yourself more open, not in a way that heals, but in a way that exposes you. You're not just connecting with your friends or your environment. You're absorbing fragments of their energies, emotional residues, thought forms, influences that aren't meant for you. The more you do this, the harder it becomes to reverse the process. Your meditation feels foggier, your dreams grow chaotic or distant. Your instincts feel unreliable, the disconnection becomes your new normal, and you mistake it for who you are. But this isn't you, this is the quiet dismantling of your spiritual center, the illusion of escaping discomfort. Here's the truth. The discomfort alcohol temporarily silences isn't your enemy, it's your guide. The anxiety, the fear, the emotional tension, they're not problems to mute, they're signals pointing you toward the parts of yourself that need healing. Each layer of tension you suppress with alcohol is a message from your own system, telling you where you've been out of alignment. Healing isn't about escaping discomfort, it's about facing it, embracing it, and listening to it. Alcohol taught you to suppress these signals. Healing teaches you to listen to them. The more you listen, the more those fragmented pieces of yourself begin to return. Your energetic field strengthens. Slowly, the micro tears that alcohol created start to seal the path to true healing and freedom. Meditation becomes a powerful tool in this process, not because it grants you instant peace, but because it introduces you to yourself. When you sit with your breath, your awareness sharpens. You begin creating space between thought and reaction, between sensation and avoidance. Over time, the mental chatter quiets, not through suppression, but through integration. You start trusting your mind again, rather than needing alcohol to quiet it for you. Breathwork complements this process. It shifts your nervous system out of survival mode, helping you release tension naturally. Alcohol may have temporarily numbed that tension, but breathwork teaches your body how to release it without external substances. With every conscious breath, you send a message to your system: we are safe now, we don't need to run anymore. But healing isn't just internal. Your energetic field responds to external support as well. Practices like Reiki, sound healing, and energy clearing directly target the frequencies alcohol once disrupted. These practices help realign your aura, patch the energetic leaks, and clear out any residual influences that may have attached during your periods of disconnection. Reconnecting with your authentic self. As your field strengthens, you feel more grounded, more protected, more attuned to your intuition. Practices like yoga also play a vital role, not just as exercise but as a way to synchronize your physical and energetic body. Through movement, breath, and awareness, you rebuild the trust between your body and your consciousness. The flexibility you cultivate is not just in your muscles, but in your ability to stay present with whatever arises. You no longer need to flee from your internal world. Nature is another powerful ally in this process. Time spent in forests by the ocean or under an open sky recalibrates your system. These environments resonate with frequencies your body instinctively remembers. In the stillness of nature, you don't need to perform, you simply are. Awakening to sovereignty. The most powerful force behind all of this healing is intention. Your energetic field responds to your choices, your thoughts, your will. When you set a clear intention to heal and realign, you begin attracting the people, resources, and insights that will support your awakening. Synchronicities increase, resistance softens, the world around you mirrors the clarity you're rebuilding within. This process isn't about purity or perfection. It's not about shaming yourself for past choices. It's about awareness, about deciding right now that you're done giving your power away to something that was never designed to serve your highest good. Every small act of presence, every meditation, every conscious breath, every moment of stillness rebuilds the foundation that alcohol once eroded. You begin to feel whole again, not because you're reaching for something outside yourself, but because you're reconnecting with the essence that's always been there. The joy you're seeking, it's already inside you. The clarity you crave, it's yours, waiting for you to remember. This is true freedom. It's not about rebellion, nor is it about indulging in the distractions that society encourages. True freedom is about radical presence, the ability to feel fully alive in your own skin, without needing to hide behind a substance to soften the edges of life. It's about trusting your presence so deeply that you no longer need permission to be seen. Alcohol pretends to offer freedom, but it can never deliver it. What alcohol gives you is the illusion of connection, the false sense that you're more alive, more confident, more connected to others. But the real version of you, the version of you that's not looking for external validation,
is already here. The substance is not the source of your wholeness. The illusion of numbing and escapism, it quiets the noise in our minds, making us feel free from our worries and fears. But that silence is not peace. It's suppression. It's the temporary illusion of escape. And the more we turn to it, the more we feed the belief that we need alcohol to access a better version of ourselves. But alcohol doesn't create the confident, happy and free version of you. It lowers the barriers around that version. It creates a temporary space where you feel unburdened. But that freedom is fleeting. It's not true liberation. It's a counterfeit. This is where the cycle begins. You begin to believe that alcohol is the key to unlocking a deeper connection, both with yourself and with others. But over time it becomes harder to connect with anyone, including yourself, without the substance. You start to mistake the numbness for peace. You think you need alcohol to feel more alive. But the truth is, you were always alive. You were just convinced you needed a shortcut to reach.
Facing discomfort and embracing the truth. And here's the hardest truth. The discomfort that alcohol suppresses isn't the enemy. It's your guide. The discomfort is not there to break you. It's there to guide you back to yourself, to point you toward the parts of you that need healing. Alcohol teaches you to silence those signals, to bypass the discomfort. Healing teaches you to listen to those signals, to embrace them, and to let them guide you. Every time you avoid the discomfort, you delay your growth. Every drink you take to escape the unease is another layer of disconnection from your true self. The more you numb the discomfort, the harder it becomes to hear the messages your soul is trying to send. But when you begin to listen, when you allow yourself to feel the discomfort, you begin to heal. And that healing, though it may be uncomfortable at first, is what leads you back to clarity, the power of presence and real connection. This is the truth you must reclaim. The discomfort is not your enemy. Your fears, anxieties, and emotional tension are not problems to avoid. They are messengers, showing you where you've been, out of alignment. They are the call to return to yourself, to face the parts of you that you've been taught to suppress. Healing requires presence, not the forced kind, but the kind you allow through surrender. It's about coming back into your body, not as something to escape or numb, but as something to honor. This presence is uncomfortable at first because it brings up the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding, but those parts are waiting for you to show up. They are asking for healing. And once you meet them, you will be stronger than ever. Meditation, breathwork, and connecting with nature are all tools that help you return to your body and your energy field. They help you rebuild the trust between your body and your consciousness. And over time, you begin to experience true connection, not just with others, but with yourself. A quiet revolution of sovereignty. As you heal, you begin to notice a shift in the world around you. You start to see how pervasive the systems of disconnection are. You see how people are conditioned to believe that numbing is normal, that substances are required for real connection. But as you reclaim your sovereignty, you become part of a quiet revolution, one where people are awakening from the cultural script they've been handed. You may not always feel understood. Your friends may not see things the way you do. Social circles may shift. But each time you choose to stay present, to sit with discomfort instead of numbing it, you strengthen your energetic field. You reinforce your sovereignty, and with every choice, the grip of old patterns weakens. You begin to see the world differently. You realize that true freedom is not found in rebellion or in indulging in temporary pleasures. It's found in presence, in living fully aligned with your own truth. True connection and lasting sovereignty. It's about feeling deeply, trusting yourself enough to stay grounded, even when everything inside you wants to flee. It's about meeting yourself with honesty, without filters or distraction. And when you live in full presence, you begin to see how much of your life was shaped by a craving for something that was never external to begin with. The version of you seeking connection through alcohol, it wasn't broken, it was misled. That longing you felt it was your essence calling you home. And now, without numbing, without sedating, you're learning to answer that call. This is where your true power lies, not in a bottle, not in a substance, but in the unshakable presence of your own being. When you reclaim this level of clarity, you don't just change your life, you change the energy around you.
Your presence becomes a mirror for others to question their own disconnection, and in doing so, you contribute to the awakening of the collective. The ripples you create will extend far beyond yourself. Closing thoughts and invitation. You are the source of your own clarity, your own joy, your own alignment. And when you choose presence, you begin to see how much of the world around you is still trapped in the illusion of numbing. But you don't have to remain in that illusion. You don't need anything outside of yourself to feel truly alive. This journey of awakening is about reclaiming your energy, your sovereignty, and your truth. It's about choosing to stay present when everything in your old patterns tells you to run. It's about embracing the discomfort, because you know it's leading you back to your essence, and when you do, you begin to live in a way that's unshakable. The ripple effect of awakening. As you move forward in your journey of reclaiming your spiritual sovereignty, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop needing to escape. You stop seeking temporary relief from discomfort through substance. Instead, you learn to sit with the discomfort, to allow it to guide you, rather than avoid it. With every choice to remain present, you strengthen your energy, and with every step you take toward alignment, you spark a shift in the world around you. You may find that your relationships become more genuine, they become richer, deeper, built on true connection rather than blurred boundaries. The more you heal, the more you show up fully as yourself, and that's what draws others in. The people around you may not fully understand your transformation at first. They may resist your clarity, even find it uncomfortable, but over time, they will notice the difference. Your energy will speak louder than your words. As more and more people begin to awaken to their own truth, a ripple effect spreads. One person's clarity gives permission for others to seek their own. Your presence becomes a light in the world, showing others what's possible. When you choose spiritual integrity over cultural condition, the power of clarity. With every step you take on this path, the fog begins to lift. The confusion you once felt starts to fade, replaced by a grounded confidence in your own energy. You no longer rely on external substances to feel alive, because you know the truth. Your authenticity was never dependent on anything outside of you. You were always enough. True freedom comes not from numbing the discomfort, but from moving through. It's about choosing clarity, even when the world around you pushes for distraction. It's about living without filters, without numbing, without the crutch of alcohol or any other substance. When you live from this place of presence, you become a beacon for others to do the same. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic. It's about meeting yourself where you are, and honoring your journey, no matter how uncomfortable or painful it might feel at times. You start to see life as it truly is, not through the lens of addiction or escapism. And with each moment of presence, you reclaim your sovereignty. The final choice, living in alignment. As you continue to live with this awareness, you'll realize something powerful. The world doesn't have to change for you to feel free. Your freedom doesn't depend on circumstances or external approval. It doesn't require you to perform or act a certain way. True freedom is found within the ability to stand in your own presence without needing anyone else's validation. Every time you choose to stay present when the temptation to return to old patterns tries to pull you back, you reclaim a piece of your power. Every moment you sit with discomfort, you dissolve the illusion that you need alcohol or any external source to feel whole. The more you do this, the more you experience the real joy that comes from connection, not the fake, artificial connection alcohol offers, but the true, grounded connection to yourself and others. And with that comes a quiet confidence, a confidence that doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to be recognized by the world. It is simply the deep knowing that you are enough, the awakening you've been waiting for. They're questioning the systems that have controlled them for so long. They're stepping away from substance, habits and thought patterns that no longer serve them. This awakening is not just about individual freedom, it's a collective shift. Every person who awakens to their own truth creates a ripple effect that touches the lives of everyone around them. This is the revolution of consciousness, and it doesn't require force or rebellion. It requires presence, it requires truth, and most importantly, it requires the courage to face yourself fully, to embrace your discomfort, and to trust that on the other side of that discomfort is your truest self, your most powerful self, a call to reclaim your sovereignty. The truth is, Alcohol was never the source of your confidence, your joy, or your connection. It was a shortcut, a false promise of peace that only deepened the disconnection from your true self. Now that you see it for what it is, the choice is yours. Will you continue to numb the discomfort, or will you face it, feel it, and let it guide you back to your essence? True freedom isn't about fighting the system, nor is it about denying yourself pleasure. It's about recognizing the systems of disconnection for what they are, and choosing to break free. It's about standing in your own truth, fully present, fully alive, without needing to escape. And once you begin to live this way, you'll realize that the peace, joy, and clarity you've been searching for were always within you. Your essence was never lost. It was simply buried beneath layers of conditioning, fear, and distraction. But now that you see through the illusion, you can reclaim your energy, your truth, and your sovereignty. This is your invitation to step into your power, to choose clarity over numbness, to reclaim your energetic field. You are not broken, you are waking up to the truth of who you've always been. And with every step you take toward presence, the world will feel a little brighter, because clarity is contagious, and your awakening is part of a much larger movement, a collective shift toward true freedom.